Hey everyone, welcome to Cook with Brooke. Today I'm going to be talking about the real way to lose weight and mitigate cancer, and that's the ketogenic diet. We had discovered the ketogenic diet years ago through the Tim Ferriss podcast and Dr. Dom D'Agostino. He is an associate professor at the University of South Florida. His research surrounds metabolic therapies and how to mitigate things like neurological diseases and disorders. We did this diet because Mark had a tumor on his leg which effectively blew up and became really inflamed. We had an MRI and an X-ray done on it, and our GP told us effectively that it was consistent with malignant cancerous change and that his treatment options would likely be radiation or chemotherapy. And we said, right, that ketogenic diet that we heard about through the Tim Ferriss podcast and Dr. Dom D'Agostino, we are putting into action immediately. By no means am I a doctor, a medical professional, a scientist, or really anyone who knows what they're talking about. I'm just using this video as an opportunity to signpost links to all these resources so you yourself can go and study this and understand it, because I think when it comes to the situation of a cancer scare, whether it's yourself or a loved one, you want to be armed with this information. The ketogenic diet is to maximize fat intake, limit protein to what is needed for repair and maintenance, and restrict carbohydrate intake. The body uses glucose as its main source of energy. When you deprive or lower or reduce the glucose levels in your blood by reducing the amount of carbohydrates that you consume, our body starts to produce ketones as its source of fuel. Our brain, as well as the rest of our cells, are like hybrid engines. They can switch energy sources. But the unique thing about cancerous cells is they lack the ability to transition from one energy source to another. When you deprive your body of glucose, the cells that depend on glucose, i.e. cancerous cells, they are deprived of their energy and they shut down. So ketones starve cancerous cells, shrink tumor growth, and protects the body's healthy cells from treatment like chemotherapy and radiation. So what do you eat when your diet consists of 75% to 85% fat? Coconut oil, olive oil, essentially any kind of oil, butter, cream, cheese, extra cream in your coffee. We would have smoked salmon rolled up with cream cheese. We would eat that. Lots of oils on our leafy salads. We really got most of our vegetable and nutrients from leafy greens and avocados. You need to have roughly 1 to 1.5 grams of protein for your weight in kilograms. But you don't want to go over that ratio because that level of protein can convert into glucose in your blood, and that will increase your level of glucose and will knock you out of your nutritional state of ketosis. We did the ketogenic diet for 7 days, and I can tell you that was enough for me. Started on the Monday when the GP told us it could be cancer, quit on the following Monday when the specialist told us it was definitely not cancer. We got a scale and we used MyFitnessPal, and we literally followed the macronutrient breakdown that was provided for us in this book. In those 7 days, I lost 8 pounds. The weight loss was dramatic. I can't recall the last time I had a stomach that flat. And how was I achieving it? This is what blows my mind. I was eating butter, cream cheese, things that you think of that are bad for you or that causes you to be fat, actually caused me to lose 8 pounds within 7 days. It was extreme. Through this experience, I learned essentially that carbohydrates are in everything, and it's only when you reduce your carbohydrates that you actually lose weight. When you're trying to restrict your carb level to like 12 grams a day or less, it's very difficult to eat any vegetables because vegetables are just loaded with carbohydrates. Now, I don't think that this diet is sustainable for an everyday practical application. I think our specific circumstances were appropriate. We thought that Mark had cancer, so we were going to do anything we could to help that situation. But if you're trying to do this on a day-to-day way to manage your health or your weight, I don't know how reasonable that is. I also don't think eating a diet with almost no vegetables or fruits is a really sustainable way to live. It was not an easy thing to do. The biggest thing we took away from this experience, however, was that when you're faced with a situation like a potentially life-threatening illness or disease, it's super easy to feel completely helpless. But there's research out there to suggest there are things that you can do. There's a role that you can play in mitigating the long-term consequences of this illness or disease. And to me, that is so empowering. And for that, I'm grateful to the people like Dr. Tom D'Agostino and Tim Ferriss for sharing his work with us. Again, I'm going to be linking to all of these resources in the description on YouTube. Check them out, watch Dom's TED Talk, and I hope that you find this information useful, and I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.